Hey, hi all. In this video, we will discuss about Apex managed sharing. Let's start. So first, we will try to understand what is sharing. As its name suggests, sharing enables record level access control for objects, and administrators first set objects organization by default, that is OWD sharing access level. If on an object we have OWD set to public read only or private, then only the sharing comes into picture. And to grant additional access based on record ownership, the role hierarchy, we have sharing rules and manual sharing in place. Developers can use Apex managed sharing to grant additional access programmatically with Apex, and most of the sharing for a record is maintained in a related sharing object. So there is an object for all the sharing records, or for all the settings which we are doing in the system, like the sharing rules which we are creating, they are stored in that particular object. Similar to an access control list, ACL found in other platforms. Types of sharing. So managed sharing involves sharing access granted by Lightning platform based on record ownership, the role hierarchy, and sharing rules. So record ownership, it will be based on the ownership of that particular record, and if you have a grant or grant access due to that hierarchy or role hierarchy in place in the org, then each record is owned by a user, or optionally a queue for custom objects, cases, and leads. The record owner is automatically granted access, allowing them to view, edit, transfer, share, and delete the record. Second is role hierarchy. The role hierarchy enables users above another user in the hierarchy to have same level of access to records owned by the shared or with the users below that. So for an example, role hierarchy, if you have a manager and there are 5 employees working under that manager, so manager will be in the higher hierarchy, or a level up from that all the 5 employees. So all the records which are created by the 5 employees, the manager will have access to them, because manager is at a high level in the role hierarchy. Then we have sharing rules. Sharing rules are used by administrators to automatically grant access within a group, or role access to records owned by a specific group of users. As its name suggests, there are some specific rules, or there will be some criteria according to which we want to share the record, or we want to share the record with a group of users. So we can use sharing rules. It can be the criteria, or it can be a ownership criteria. Owner. There are two things in sharing rules. User managed sharing, also known as manual sharing. So manual sharing, as we all know, we have a button, and then we click on that button manually, the record will be shared. And this is generally done by the end user for a single record. Only the record owner and users above the owner of the in the role hierarchy are granted full access to the record. So if you have a manager, so the manager will have access to that particular record which you have created or which you have modified. It is not which you have created, not modified. It is not possible to grant other users full access. Users with the modify all object level permission for the given object, or the modify all data permission, can also manually share a record. Modify all and modify all data, they are the administrative permission which we get in the which we get under profiles, and in that we have to go to that object, and then we can specify this particular administrative permissions. User managed sharing is removed when record owner changes, and when the access granted in the sharing does not grant additional access. Additional access means it will not grant any additional access, so there will be no change in the profile and all that stuff in your on a record or on a user level. So you will not get the access to that, like the manual sharing button, and to edit or do a deletion of that particular record. Apex managed sharing. Apex managed sharing provides developer with the ability to support an application's particular sharing requirements programmatically through Apex or SOAP API. For an example, you have order. In order, you don't have access, or your profile don't have access, but on opportunity, your profile has access to. And then programmatically, if you have the access on the opportunity, you do some query on that opportunity, and now you want to you want to set some fields on order which is related to that particular opportunity. In that case, you have to just first you have to share that record through programmatically in Apex, and then you can update that because you don't have permission on that particular object, or you don't have update permission or edit permission on that particular object. So in that case, Apex managed sharing comes into picture. This type of sharing is similar to managed sharing. Only users with the modify all permission can add or change Apex managed sharing on a record. Apex managed sharing is maintained across record owner changes. So you should have modify all data. Then only you will be able to do that. So if you are an administrator and you are developing some code, so majorly you will have the modify all data permission, or some set of power users will have that. Access levels, so this is generic access levels which we have in Salesforce. Access level private API name. Then only the record owner and the users above the record owner in the role hierarchy can view and edit the records. This access level only applies to the account share object. Read only, it's read. You can only read the value of that particular field or object which is given if you have access to. The specified user or group can view the record only. They cannot update or they cannot do anything other than read operation. Read or write. The specified user or group can view and edit the records. Full access. The specified user or group can view, edit, transfer, share, and delete the record. Sharing a record using Apex. To access sharing programmatically, you must use the share object associated with the standard or custom object for which you want to share. For example, account share is a sharing object for account object. Contact share is the sharing object for contact object. So if you want to do any Apex managed sharing for an account, then you have to use account share object, and if it is for contact, it will be contact share object. All custom object sharing objects are named as follows, where my custom object is the name of the custom object is my custom object is the name, then the sharing of that will be like my custom object __ share. And then objects on the detail side of the master detail relationship do not have an associated sharing object, because they are shared on the basis of how the sharing has been controlled on the master level. That is only inherited by the details. The detail record access is determined by the master sharing object and the relationship sharing setting. Share object includes records supported all three types of sharing: managed sharing, user managed sharing, and Apex managed sharing. And sharing granted to users implicitly through OWD, the role hierarchy, and permissions such as view all and modify all permission or permission sets are not tracked with this object. Every share object has following properties. So there are some of the fields or some of the properties or attributes in that particular object which will define what type of access, or what level of access you have, or you can share that particular record. Object name access level, the level of access that the specified user or group has been granted for a share object. And then parent ID, the ID of the object, the field cannot be updated because the field will automatically get populated. Row cause, the reason why the user or group is being granted access. The reason determines the type of sharing, which controls who can alter the sharing record. This field cannot be updated. User or group ID, the user or group IDs to which you are granting access, or to which users you want to give access, like the ID of that particular user or the ID of that particular queue or group will be there. So, so that's all. Thank you. Have a nice day.